So something fucking devastating happened. I did 20 minutes of yapping over this speed paint, going over everything, my raw brain thoughts, only to find out that my audio settings are fucked. So, um, it sounds really noisy and distant and bad because it was recording from my PC's microphone and not my headset. And I don't know how that happened. I don't know how Audacity fumbled the bag that badly, but it did. Ow. And I'm devastated. I yapped for 20 minutes from my brain, winged it, only for this to happen. So I'm gonna have to yap again about about the 2.3 Trailblaze quest. Fine enough. I'm the yapper after all, but now I'm mad and I don't want to be mad. But I am mad. But yeah, anyway. So this is just going to be a casual yap session about the 2.3 Trailblaze quest. So overall I really liked it. It's short, it's sweet, it's a nice send-off, kind of like it gives us a lot of forms of closure. And let's start with the elephant in the room. Gallagher. Gallagher. I think what they did for him was really sweet. I like that Chauvin initiated kind of like the send-off, kind of like, I like that they, because like I was wondering why, like, aren't they friends? What's her thoughts on this? And like for her to actually give her thoughts and like stuff like that, it's so sweet, but it's also so heartbreaking and stuff like that. Like, I love that they did this for like all the characters, like the Nameless and Mikhail and stuff, and Gallagher obviously. And tell you the truth, I did actually bawl my eyes out when we had to send off Gallagher and we were talking to the Hound statue, because it just made it all the more real that he's gone. One of the things that I felt very validated by was, I think Himiko says it herself, where it's just like, that is the mystery of Gallagher. And I just love that. Again, I feel so validated in feeling that the point of Gallagher wasn't necessarily like his true identity and stuff like that, even though even if it took like 3 videos to kind of like figure it out. I like that the validation of her saying that he's a complete mystery, because fundamentally that's what Gallagher is. He's a complete mystery. The whole point of him is that he is the investigation, the mystery, the question itself. Who's Gallagher? But I won't go into it. I already got into it in my previous video. So I forgot that I talked about this in my initial recording. So this is kind of a post-yap. This is something I discovered when I was on the cruise ship. I forgot the name. But it is a document called Dream Bubble Notes. You can find it somewhere around the pool. And it's basically somebody who is collecting dream bubbles. Or is like, I think selling? I'm not sure. Fundamentally, this person met someone who is a quote-unquote weirdo and a self-professed director who sold dream bubbles to this aforementioned narrator. So fundamentally, it's just about the dream bubbles that the self-proclaimed director gave, with the last one being kind of a question mark. And I'll read you what it says. Quote, "As for the last dream bubble from him, it was sealed tightly with utmost care, making it impossible for prying eyes to even glimpse the content without some painstaking efforts. I'm still undecided about whether I should open it. After all, when he sold me the dream bubble, he said, quote, 'Never open this. You must learn to love the unknown.'" End quote. And doesn't that guy sound familiar? He sounds a lot like Mr. Reika. If you have forgotten, or just need kind of like spark notes from what I was talking about in my previous video, Mr. Reika is a famous director who has recent interest in in dream bubbles, which are products of the Enigmata, and fundamentally orchestrated Scorched Sand Vacation, and seems to know Gallagher. And I made the theory that because both Gallagher and this Mr. Reika share a lot of values and opinions and stuff like that, and even some characteristics, I made the theory that Mr. Reika could possibly be Gallagher's creator. So like when I saw this document, it kind of solidifies that I think Mr. Reika, in some degree, has beliefs that align with the Enigmata. I don't think they're gonna say outright if he's a history fictionologist or not, because what, you're gonna expect an accurate description or the truth from a history fictionologist? Good fucking luck. But yeah, that's just a little tidbit that I discovered that I think kind of helps in that theory that this Mr. Reika is possibly Gallagher's creator. Anyway, back to the actual Yap session. But I just love the send-off for him. And the actual letter that you get was so... it was so bittersweet. But it's just so nice that he did that. I really liked the present he made. It's like, at first I assumed, was this something that he found? Like, was this an old drawing that Mikhail did? But it seems like from the flavor text, when it says, like, his faithful companion drew this, I wouldn't be... I'm, like, even more touched that Gallagher probably drew it for us, so we had something to remember Misha by. It's so cute. I like that the first, like, the Trailblaze quest beforehand was a send-off to Misha and stuff like that, when this one is more like, okay, now it's kind of Gallagher's time to shine. I just really like his character arc. It's just got a clear, solid question mark of a beginning, but a clear end. I know there was a lot of language used, kind of like, we might see it, of like, we'll see each other soon, or we'll see him again, or stuff like that. And I know a lot of my comments in the previous video was like also kind of saying that there could be a possibility we could see him again, but maybe this was built on my pessimism or something like that, but it's just also kind of like how I genuinely feel, and that is, I don't want Gallagher to come back. What I'm saying is, like, he already has such a strong character arc from beginning to end, where he lived for his master and he died by him. And when you consider, this was also like a comment told by me that Doberman are one person dogs, it just makes sense that his entire point of existence surrounded Mikhail, and that he's kind of like happy now to kind of reunite with him. So it doesn't sit right with me, any possibility or any idea of him coming back, because I kind of think that would kind of kill such a core part of his character. Like, as much as, like, I'd love for him to come back, I think it'd be a nice treat for me because I fucking miss my wife. I think it's just important that he had this ending, that he lived so long without his master, but he did everything in service to Mikhail, and that he was able to, like, happily go out with a bang and to finally reunite with him. So that's kind of my thoughts on it. But fundamentally, I just really like the tributes, the flowers given to essentially everyone involved. And I think those are like kind of my concluding thoughts on Gallagher. I just love his arc. I love when characters, when they have a clear end, they actually do respect what that character has done, what the character has been through, and how much this character means to the world. And I mean, like, in-game world, and maybe even, yeah, to the external community. And when they do send them off, it's like, in a way that fits them, in a way that seals off their story, if it's a type of character like Gallagher where he's very mysterious, it still leaves a lot of questions, a lot of, a lot of crumbs for us. And yeah, they give them a start and they end it there. I wouldn't like it. Oh my god, what was I saying? Yeah. I like it when stories do that for characters. Obviously I'd be feeling differently if it was like a very like hastily written or unjust way of ending. But it wasn't, and that's why I think I feel happy. Or I feel like a sense of closure. Because it's like, even though I'm sad that Gallagher's gone, I'm happy that his arc ended this way. In the way that it did, in a way that respects his character arc, his motivations, and stuff like that, rather than him sticking around and being sidelined or kind of going stale, which I don't want for him. He's too much of a good character for that. What else is there to say about the Trailblaze quest? Oh yeah, I really like how sweet the actual twist of Sparkle's fireworks were. I like that the implications that Silverwolf went out of her way to make sure that Firefly's third death was as safe as possible, and it really shows that, the Stellaron hunters all care for each other. They care for like Firefly's well-being and stuff like that, especially when you consider the circumstances of how like Firefly came to be. I love that they want the best for her, and if that means like kind of like, roping Sparkle into the scheme and like going like, hey, can you arrange something for this? And like, Sparkle actually pulling through and doing this. I think it's really sweet and really cute. And like, I always knew that the buttons weren't actually going to do actual harm. I knew it was going to like be fireworks. Because like, fundamentally, they're Moss fools. She's a Moss fool. They're not out there to do something that drastic. They're there to keep it fun. They're here to keep it light. They're here to keep it light. It's kind of like how Black Swan, being a memo keeper, was there to kind of drive the plot forward and like kind of make sure everything's in check and everything is in accordance to what happens. Then you have like Firefly's the one who's actually making it interesting. Drink break. So I'm really happy with that. I also love how it brought everyone together. It's really fun and cute, especially because we have this point of tension of what is the IPC gonna do and stuff like that. And I think that resolution was like kind of a bit rushed, I'd say. But it's also like I'm settled with it. I'm happy with it, I guess. I don't know, I feel like for a character as imposing as Jade, she could have used a little more of a presence. I'm sure she'll have more of a presence in the future, but I think given how it was built up, I would have wanted some more stakes. But if this was going to be an epilogue, then I'm not surprised they ended it in a kumbaya way. And I will say, Odie Alfalfa, that is a really good fucking character design, honestly. I'm surprised that they had it in them to do something, to do a character as cool as him, like actually like a fat dwarf-like character who's old. I'm actually really pumped now to see how I hope they do something similar for Puccinella, and then like obviously carry that same energy for when they make Piero. I'm waiting for Piero. Maybe one day you'll hear from me about Piero. I will talk non-stop about Piero, but that's beside the point. I really like Odie Alfalfa's design, as you can tell. What else is there to say? Yeah, I really like the dynamic between Argenti and Boothill. You have the Yapper and the Yapper. Imagine being in a room with them. Good lord. I can totally get why Argent-Hill is a big ship. I actually remember this like tweet about Argent-Hill, which was basically how they're pretty much just the miniature cowboy and the Roman character from Night at the Museum, and that made me that made me cackle. I'm just thinking it's funny thinking about it now. If one of my favorite post Trailblaze quests was checking out, because it was just so fucking unhinged and funny, and it's just like somehow Chingchue's there. And I really like it because I have a Honkai Star Rail OC who interacts with both Argenti and Chingchue, and to see them in a group together was fucking mind-blowing and hilarious. And it just kind of it's been whirring the cogs of that OC of mine, where I'm just thinking about the funny dynamic that would happen. And I like that, and like it's just literally my OC's Nightmare Blood rotation plus Boot Hill, but Boot Hill's now part of the group chat now. He's part of the Bozo squad that will drive my OC insane. But yeah, if you haven't played it, play Checking Out. It's really funny. It's a nice send-off for some characters, but primarily it's just a really, really funny quest. What else is there to say? How are your Firefly pools going? Or like, is anyone saving for Jade? If you are, Godspeed to you. I just feel bad for the Jade banner just because it's like, it's being Yoi-Mia'd right now. Where it's just like, she's just been completely eclipsed by Ultimate Kamen Rider, Winx Enchantix Transformation, Firefly. That I can't feel bad for her, because like, I think she'd do fine in any other version. But it's just, she just had to be with Firefly, so it's just like, rest in peace to you, girly pop. But yeah, as for my Firefly pools, it's okay. I'm actually a bee's dick away from hitting soft pity, because I've just been grinding a lot. I've actually been playing Divergent Universe, and that shit is so fun. Like, I put off the Swarm Disaster and Golden Gears because they're not as okay, Golden Gears is better. I hate Swarm War, especially because I can't fucking get the level 3 difficulty, no matter how hard I tried. But that's beside the point. I really love Divergent Universe. It's so fun. It makes simulated universe even really addicting for me. Like, I just want to sit down and play through Divergent Universe right now. But yeah, I've just been grinding to get to those roles for Firefly since I'm now hitting soft pity. I'm almost hitting soft pity by today. One of the fun things is because I already have E6 Gallagher, all I've been getting is Gallagher, so it's just like my wife is supporting me in my journey in getting Firefly. He comes in and he's just like, here you go, love. Here's a free pool for you. Good luck. And like, if I get Eidolons for Shui or Misha, that's also a win too, because I use Shui, I want to use Misha. But yeah, most of the time I've been getting Gallagher, and because I already E6'd him, I'm just like, thank you for the free pools, wife. Love you. So that's why he's still alive in my heart and in my brain. I'm only planning on getting one copy of Firefly. If I lose the 50-50, because I used my guaranteed on Boot Hill, because I lost the 50-50 in Robin's banner to Himiko, so I got Boot Hill instead. So if I lose the 50-50 on Firefly, I'm just planning on maybe just like, swiping the card. Shh. Swiping the card and stuff, but it's only if I lose the 50-50, and it won't be for a while. I'm gonna give it some time. I have a plan. But once I get Firefly, I'm gonna save for, I'm gonna try my best to pronounce this name. Jiao Chu. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. I'll research it later, but I want to get him. I want to get the Fox Boy, because I love Fox dudes. I love when they have the cool fox eyes, and I just like how duplicitous and sketchy, but also cute they are. I also really like, I don't know if anyone else has pointed it out, I really like the Kong Ming vibes he has with the feather fan and the, you know, fanning the flames, and the fact that he used to serve in the military. He just gives me such strong Kong Ming vibes. I don't know if anyone else has pointed it out but me and a friend, but that's what's just like, you know, giving me specific brainworms. So I can't wait to farm for him and get him. And maybe the reason I'm just thinking about Kong Ming is just because I've been playing a lot of Warriors Orochi and Wolong, or thinking about it, and my Dynasty Warriors brain is kind of going off the roof. What else is there to say? I really do like this kind of style of video where it's just kind of low-key and more chill. Not too much work put into it, but I can still yap freely. This means I've been yapping for 40 minutes straight because I have to retake this. But fundamentally, I'm just speaking the same talking points that I wanted to do. In terms of like video essays, I know I've been saying I have ideas. It's just like, I just need to sit down and actually research them and stuff like that. I'll tell you which ones I'm doing, what I'll do, just so then you can build up hype. I want to do one on Sunday. So these two are character analysis, they're not actual theories. I want to do one on Sunday, kind of talking about the ethos behind it, how it reflects the plot and the kind of main conflict going on. Because fundamentally, Sunday versus the Trailblazer, it's the classic law versus chaos, order versus chaos dynamic. So I want to talk about that. I don't know if I want to get into the seriousness of kind of like what he actually went through, because what he went through, especially by the hands of Gopherwood, is very upsetting. But so I don't know if I want to get into it. If it is relevant, I'll think about it. But fundamentally, I want to talk about Sunday and his ethos and how it is meant to conflict and also balance out with the Trailblaze. And then the other one I want to do is about Argenti. I really like Argenti. I've been wanting to talk about him for a while, and it's kind of, I want to study things like romanticism. I want to read Don Quixote because apparently I want to read Don Quixote for it. I want to research kind of the archetype that he represents, especially because it's like a long-standing archetype all the way to Arthurian mythos. So I think he'd be really interesting in that regard. It will entirely depend which one I do first and which one I'm in the mood for. So we'll see what happens. I can see that I'm almost done with the speed paint now. So if you've lasted this long, thank you so much for listening to my yap session. I hope to see you soon. Bye!